Welcome back to the show, everybody. Mike Crispy here, coming to you live from New York. Pretty cool in the last segment there. Again, shout out to the Bolenbach family for their amazing gift to the show. I want to shift gears here and talk about this for a minute. Obviously, you guys know that when it comes to what the Democrats do in the entertainment space, they got music, they got acting, they got all this very low quality production that they put out there and almost, hypnotize the mainstream into thinking it's quality. They put it out there and they win on culture. They win on the things you see on TV and the music you listen to and stuff like that. And I say, where are the conservative recording artists, musical artists, productions? I say it in film and music. We got to win that battle because it matters what people listen to and what they see on TV matters. So I want to bring in my friend now. This is Sean Rem, okay? Sean Rem produced this music video, which we're going to show you in a minute. But Sean, I want to welcome you to the show. And for the listeners out there who don't know you or who are not familiar with your work, I just want you to go through what you've come up with here. This new song that you've released, again, 18 days before the election day. I don't know if that's a coincidence or not. I suspect it's not. And just talk about what you are trying to do as a producer, okay, getting the word out about America, values, our country, the values that founded the country, and so much more. And then we'll get into this project here that you just released.
Sure. Well, the song was written by my co-writing partner, Eric Moore, and I in 2009. Oh, wow. When the country was enthralled in the middle of the '08 financial collapse. I think 6 million people had lost their homes at that time. I was one of those people. I was a general contractor and I owned a kitchen and bath cabinet company. And when I lost everything, I decided to come here to Nashville and pursue music because I said, if I'm going to be broke, I'm going to go do what I want to do, right? So that story, that story enough wasn't, I'm just a guy, and my story wasn't enough to inspire the song. In '09, when the Obama administration started bailing out General Motors, two things were happening. Number one, Cadillac, America's luxury automobile, the CTS division was being shipped to China. And I said, America's luxury brand is going to be made in China? That didn't sit well with me. If you've ever asked anyone, describe America, what do you get? You get hot dogs, Chevrolet, motors, baseball. You could have substituted Chevrolet for Pontiac because I grew up, I was a kid of the 70s, and Pontiac made Trans Ams, and they made the awesome GTOs and Firebirds, and Pontiac was abolished in the 2009 bailout of General Motors. So that really hit home for me. Like we're losing America thread here. It's the American muscle car and the American luxury car. Those things do not exist anymore. So I looked at Eric Moore as we were sitting on the couch in a songwriting session, and I said, we got to say something. We got to do something. And if you've ever been in a songwriting session, I don't know, but that's what happened. The words just started rolling out. So in the chorus, I have a dream, we the people live in a land where we're equal, when we fight like hell. So there's nothing to fear but fear itself. Ask not what this country can do for me. If we all did that, it wouldn't have to be a dream. Those were just American quotes by great American people. Yeah. Civil rights leaders, presidents, etc. Yeah.
And this was predated. It's kind of interesting. I didn't know this. This was predated from the Trump years. So it's funny that like a lot of the things that you speak to, kind of predate where we're at now, yet it's so relevant to where we're at. So tell us here, a couple minutes we got. So tell us about the song, how you guys are promoting this, and then obviously we're gonna roll it out and give the audience a preview of what's to come. So just talk about like what you're trying to do with it, where you're trying to get it out, how you're trying to have it effectuate the culture and so forth.
Sure. The song was sung by an amazing young and up-and-comer black conservative by the name of T.J. Aaron. He was joined with a country music legend, Mr. William Lee Golden of the Oak Ridge Boys, who lent a lot of his talent and expertise. The song is a pre-release, a promotional piece for a reality show that I'm the host of called Broadway South. It's based around Broadway here in Nashville. You work with a lot of great country music artists who come to Broadway to make it, and you've got a lot of tourists who come to Broadway because they love country music and they love Nashville. So it's a pre-release for the show itself, where you will meet country music artists, you will hear their songs, etc. That's the idea for this song in this time that we're in. Obviously, as you said, it predates President Trump, but hey, somebody had to say it that was entering office, and we happened to say it before he did, so I can at least take that credit, right?
Pretty unbelievable. So let me ask this before we get into it. How do you feel that the current status of music out there? What do you think? Do you think there's all these conspiracies about the people who run the labels, tell them what to say, and they kind of push it in and they push down on them, and they're kind of pushing a narrative through that? Do you subscribe to that? Do you think that's a thing? Because people talk about 100%. That a lot lately, especially with
100%.
The Diddy stuff
I'll
and
give
all
you an
that.
example.
So what about in the country music space? Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I'll give you a couple of examples. Recently, you've had some independent releases by John Rich of Big and Rich. If he's with a label, I don't know, but he's released some very patriotic type of songs. And you had the single last year with Oliver Anthony, the Richmond North of Richmond, and you've had others,
yes.
But those have been small label or independent labels. The major labels aren't touching it. Obviously, Jason Aldean with Try That in a Small Town or Try This in a Small Town, that had some traction, major label. He's with Broken Bow Records. And the minute it came out and people in the industry started figuring out what he was saying, CMT jerked it off the air, if you remember.
Yeah.
And I think, yes. So why that is, and I can tell you why that is, a lot of those companies are publicly traded. For example, Bain Capital is it's a money management company. They're a hedge fund. They own iHeartRadio. They own Warner Chappell Music. So of course they don't want to put out certain messages for whatever reason, whether they don't want to talk political or they just want to keep it very middle of the road. I can't say what the reason is, but they are definitely curating messages and keeping those things down. If they weren't, for example, I know a lot of conservative country pop artists who are signed to major record labels, and if they were going to say something, now would be the time to say it, and they haven't said it. So I think they've obviously missed that window, and that's the only conclusion I can come up with, is that they're being told you can't say that. Yeah. And you have to take into consideration that.
Yeah, no. Say it. Finish that, and then we'll
yeah, so we have to take into consideration that in the Clinton years, they signed the Clinton Telecommunications Act, which allowed large corporations to buy up all of radio, and those large corporations happen to be the same large corporations that own on the record labels. I don't think it's a coincidence, sir. Yes. No,
absolutely not. I like it. Good. This is good for the viewers there. So, all right, we're gonna roll. This is your work, producer. The new song, T.J. Aaron, William Lee Golden. I Have a Dream. Frankie, roll some of this right now.
Hey, my jerk with the cornies. I have a dream.
I love it. I love when you tell the history of where it came from to now. So fight like hell. There you go, fight with the Trump. I pull up the big blanket again, Frankie, but I can only do that once without messing up all the wires. All right, Sean Rem, last words. Where should people go? What should they check out? Where should they head to get more information and to hear the song and see the show and everything else?
Yeah, it's BroadwaySouth.com. You can find it on all Broadway South socials. It'll be on Spotify today and all of the other music streaming outlets, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I'd like to thank Mr. William Lee Golden and Tony Copley, my production partner, with Led 7 Entertainment out of Atlanta. Freebird Boot Stores, we will be teaming up with them as well. They have a space down here on Broadway. They're going to be dropping the song as well, and that's where you check us out, BroadwaySouth.com and all of the socials.
Let's go. And I will be hitting you up when I come back to Nashville. Even a New Yorker, New Jersey guy like me loves Nashville, Tennessee. Let's go. Sean Rum, appreciate it. Thanks for coming on. All right, guys. Yes. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back to wrap the show. Do not go anywhere.